Hello, this is Dave at TitleRecovery.com and CarTitles.com. This video we're talking about abandoned car titles. If you have a vehicle that you've acquired that at some point in its history was an abandoned vehicle, the question is, what is the valid title for that car? Part of it depends on what is the definition of abandoned. If it's something that a friend of yours or somebody you knew gave to you and said, look, I don't want this car anymore, and transferred it to you, if they had legal ownership, then that could be a valid transfer. On the other hand, if there's this car sitting in a field somewhere that you have seen for a year or two, even 5 years, you may think that that car is abandoned. That may not be a valid legal transfer to you because there was no direct and active transfer of the vehicle ownership to you. The circumstances make all the difference. There are some provisions in certain states, if a vehicle is abandoned on your property, that you may be able to acquire some claims of ownership of the vehicle, or maybe even just claim of lien on the vehicle. So starting with the exact circumstances surrounding that vehicle being transferred to you is important. Let me give you a perfectly good example. We had a vehicle that was presented to us by a client that needed to get a title, and their story was it was an abandoned vehicle that they purchased from a colleague, and that person had seen the vehicle on an empty lot, it had been there, had been abandoned, so they thought that they had owned it. They transferred it to our client. Well, come to find out, when we did our research and investigation, that the car was parked there 10 years prior. It was a gentleman who was waiting for him to retire from his manufacturing job, and then he was going to start working on it. So just because a car is sitting someplace for a long time doesn't mean it's abandoned. It could be in storage. It could be somebody waiting for a certain period of time to start restoring this car. This happened to be a late 60s pickup truck. It was in rough shape, it was all rotted out, but this guy wanted to restore it. So the fact that somebody else just grabbed it off this land doesn't mean it was an abandoned car. So we have to check the prior history to make sure the title transfer is valid and it's legal, because as a vehicle owner, you don't want somebody coming back out of the woodwork later and saying, hey, that's my car. So first start out with what's the abandoned status of that car, what's the story behind it, and then we'll find a legal title transfer process, if one exists, to get a legal title in your name that's defensible, meaning that somebody isn't going to come up later and say, hey, that's my car. It'll be a clear title, clean title in your name, so you don't have to worry about having the car being snatched back from you later. If you want more information, you can reach us at our website, cartitles.com, or otherwise, titlerecovery.com.